Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This will be part two on the Mini Cooper 2010 coming from Florida. Uh, Let me just read the information. It says Purdy European Motors in Clearwater, Florida. Let me see. Brent. All right, so I have, as you can see right now, the DME relay, which is still in the same wire 20 pin 28, and that's the DME main relay connected to battery power. The computer provides the ground. The reason I have a clamp is because as it is open, I already put the thermal compound paste on the board, did the repairs, and I have to actually take completely the board due to oil intrusion on the computer. This is not very common on Mini Coopers, but it's very common on BMWs overall. So let me just show you the pictures. Make sure I don't show the customer information. All right, so this is when I open the computer, I notice in the connector oil, and I was taking pictures because you can see here all this is full. That connector wasn't, but these two were completely full of oil. And I'm like, did they spray with something to clean it? And I'm like, let me see. No, this is not to clean it. It was inside the computer. So when I opened it up, we can now see perfectly how these two connectors are full of oil. I have to bait the computer in alcohol, and then on the ultrasound cleaner to remove, I have to remove all the capacitors and some of the components that were just impossible to clean because the oil stays underneath, and that is conductive, and that will destroy the computer. So luckily for them, the computer is repaired. I was able to successfully repair. So I'm going to do the same thing. Right now we got communication. This is just to show that is still the same bin number. I'm going to turn this off, and we can see light going off and then coming back on, and we will see the throttle body doing its tests again because I killed the power on the computer, and that is just completely normal. So let me just show that first. That will happen very shortly. Come on. Probably switch the ignition back and forth too quick for it to happen, but we'll see. Nope, it is right there happening. All right, so it's doing the throttle check. Make sure everything is correct, and it is. And we can see the DME relay nice and steady. I have the computer probably already connected, and I power off and power on for more than 2 hours. So this is just to confirm that it's working 100%. We saw before how the light was off, and I have it at first on, and then it went off, and then it didn't come back on. I'm like, this is not the erratic common problem when you have a DME driver that is failing because they usually become erratic. They're trying to connect and you can see the light flickering, like in this case, if you have the relay, you will hear the relay kind of like clicking, 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 and that is very common on a bed driver or pre-driver, right? This is the circuit for this specific DME relay, but this was very uncommon. I'm like, So I called them and they told me that it was just the DME relay, the only problem they had. I don't know if they couldn't run the car. So I'm doing the test specifically for this, and I'm connecting the pedal position sensors and the throttle body again because these are the most common problematic areas, and I want to make sure that when I give the computer back, the customer is fully repaired. But yeah, it is fully working every single time, and I can let the computer go to sleep. Like if I kill the power in terminal 15, eventually as normal, it could be 60 seconds to 2 minutes. This will turn off and computer will go into a sleep mode, which is, the normal shutdown command. It's not immediately because the computer does its checks even after you turn the ignition off, and that is just the way Mini Coopers and BMWs and most of the European cars work. But yeah, so very, very easy to see. Hopefully, again, this is me recording and showing you on the screen, but yeah, you can see there all the oil on this computer. So yeah, luckily for them, it was not because I have seen these computers completely filled with oil, and that is, forget it, forget about it. But they still got the problem. They're gonna have to replace the harness because the harness is not repairable. You're going to have to replace because it looks like it's these two big connectors. The ones are full of oil. So I'm going to talk to them and explain my findings and giving the recommendations based on what I now know, right? I will know now because probably by the time they receive the computer, they will be able to see this video as well, and then they can, this is a proof in the pudding, right? Everything is working back now, and also to show what I found right there. I should have like have a recorded video, but I was actually more interested into find out if the computer could be repaired and to show a process of cleaning and ultrasound, which is pretty simple. It's just an ultrasound cleaner, and then alcohol again, and then heat it up in hot plate or heat gun, whatever you have your resources to do, and make sure that we clean all those residues. And that's why I remove all the capacitors, because they were not bad because of the capacitors. They were bad because all under there. And then especially on these capacitors, if we see there are surface mounted, they're not through hole, and then they have this plastic around, so the oil is pretty easy to stay in there and then create problems. And we have multiple coils around the board. Let me go back to the same picture. Well, in this one you don't see because it's not the side of the other side, the one we cannot see. There is coils, inductors that can get filled with oil, same as the barometric pressure sensor, which is built inside the computer. That component right here, let me do a little zoom in here. That is the barometric pressure sensor inside the computer. So everything is, in all these are signs of oil. You see right down here. It's not uncommon because they do have, I have seen, many of these Mini Cooper, a little bit of flux left from factory, but this is a lot. So this is oil kind of like mixing with that. So yeah, very, very easy to capture, especially as soon as I open it up and I saw these connectors and everything. So yeah. All right, so I'm just right now waiting for the computer to go to sleep. Let me pause the video and I'll be right back. All right, it took a little over 2 minutes, but now it's sleeping and we can see that. Let me just make sure. Yeah, because when that happens, now you see it's no battery voltage and not supported, even though the power is there. So when we power up, now we got computer talking, and now we got connection immediately to the scanner, so it went to sleep. That's completely normal. So every time you turn your ignition off, the main relay will take a little longer, 60 to, in this case, almost 2 minutes. And I mean, depends on what the computer is thinking or doing, right? That can take a little longer, but yeah, though all is good. All right, so guys, I hope that you see or fit or find this video interesting. I know that I sometimes don't show all the connections or removals. I try to explain. I have multiple videos on Mini Cooper's DME. So if you want to find or know more of connections and why do I have as a resistance or resistors in here. This is 120 ohm resistor because the computer is not connected to the car. This needs to, in order to talk to the scanners, it needs to have those resistors in place, and I put it right there in this breakout box in pin 6 and 14. All right, but again, if you want to know more about connections and everything that I do and I have here, go and visit those videos, and you will definitely understand why I don't take much longer to show something like this. But yeah, I have all the connections and pinouts and everything right there. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.